Buying virtual land in Metaverse, complete beginner's guide. Did you know that you can invest in virtual land within the metaverse? There will be a large amount of opportunities to purchase some of these areas within this metaverse. Hello and welcome back to Metaverse. For today's video, we are going to talk about buying virtual land in metaverse. Let's get started. Virtual land use cases. Land within the metaverse is going to be one of the best opportunities to be getting into cryptocurrency and NFTs. Some of these plots of lands have already sold for hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of dollars. In some cases, you might be wondering what are the use cases, what are the purpose of these plots of lands, and that being used in this virtual world, where there's actually a multitude of different things you can use the pieces of land you end up buying within these certain games. Here's a list of what those use cases possibly could be. Using that piece of land, you can end up creating a business, right? You could create a business that operates within the world, within the metaverse that you're currently located on. You can host events or parties, right? You can have a gathering, a group of people within the metaverse come into your place, come into your plot of land, or hosting an entirely different event for a whole other purpose. You can create a unique experiences as well as games that are going to be hosted on that land, or you can end up making this land your home within the metaverse, and there may be other use cases you can actually use the piece of land for, but it actually depends on the game. You have to land on something and purchasing one of these plots or parcels of land. You're able to conduct these use cases within that metaverse, and for some of those use cases, it actually pays to own a lot. And so you will just provide a few examples that, let's say you end up creating a business on that place of land. You can start charging for whatever product or service you are putting out there on that piece of land, and that itself can become an income generating resorts and events case, right? You can create exclusive events or parties you can end up charging people to attend to. Snoop Dogg is hosting an exclusive party inside the sandbox and had an exclusive pass, right, which is an NFT that people have to own to get access to his party. And that, once again, it is also an income rejuvenating resource, and there are just so many other things you can end up doing. Building out certain experiences, building out certain games that require some sort of pay to actually pay access for specific games that's being hosted on the land, so that the land itself is the basis that could be used to create as many other different things that can give you benefits within the metaverse. So it's actually very powerful, and there's going to be a lot of opportunities and the use cases you're going to be able to use that land for. If we think about it, it's the same case in the real life. Right, there are certain pieces of land you can purchase in real estate. You can purchase in real life, and that can act as your home, can act as your business, and that can act as a party venue. And so many other different experiences you could also host in real life, as well as it's not going to be any different within a virtual world. And in fact, it might be even cooler because there's going to be just so many different experiences and differences, just activities you can create within this metaverse. Number 1, Axie Infinity. The first game we will talk about is Axie Infinity. Axie Infinity is by far and away the most popular play-to-earn game at the moment, and the most successful one at that as of right now. It is a card game that people are able to play that allows other people to battle different Axies, right, which are these characters within the game. And you might be asking, where's the land that is involved with this game? Well, as of right now, they haven't released the second part of their game just yet, but they have a portion of their game that is coming, which is called Lunesia, which is actual homeland and is divided into token-sized plots of land, which can act as homes and bases of operations to their axis. And you're going to be able to participate in different events, different activities, and different types of just overall gameplay in the world of Lunesia. This portion of the game is currently being built out as we speak, and this is going to be the next evolution of what Axie Infinity will become. we can head to Axie Infinity Marketplace to see if the land is already available for sale on the secondary market. They have already released a certain amount of lots and plots with the game, so you're going to be able to purchase some of these land plots. On the secondary market on Axie Infinity's marketplace, there are 5 different types of land. We have Savanna, Arctic, Genesis, Forest, and Mystic. And as form as we want to see, we can see that some of these plots of lands are already selling for thousands, tens, and thousands of dollars. It's some cases hundreds of thousands of dollars. Now, I said not all the land of Axie Infinity has been released by the owners of the game just yet, so make sure you are following their Discord as well as following their Twitter account for more updates on the sales. Decentraland. Decentraland is the closest idea of what a metaverse will look like in the future, especially that is being building on the blockchain. Currently, as we can see in this an outline world where people interact using digital avatars and access different experiences within this game. All of the activities and structure that are built in Decentraland are user-generated pieces of content, which means that there are developers and builders within Decentraland that are building out these experiences. And like I said previously, as to purposes and use cases of these pieces of land, people are building out those experiences on land plots and they own now. We can take a look of that and where to purchase some of these plots of land within Decentraland. We can go to the marketplace that is featured on the website of Decentraland, and it shows us the secondary market of the land plots that are currently up to sale right now. You can see it provides us the location of where these plots of land are currently located, as well as the current price that the owner of the plot of land is currently asking. For now, Decentraland is one of the most popular metaverses that are currently building at the moment. And some of these plots of land, I mean the cheapest one we're currently looking at right now here, I believe sits around $10,000. Right here it says $3,690, but this is in their cryptocurrency token, and which is currently sitting around $2.50. Decentraland has an increasing amount of builders and developers that are currently building on it right now. So there's a lot of excitement, a lot of anticipation for the growth of this game. Number 3, Sandbox. For this metaverse, it is a voxelized form of metaverse, so it is going to have similar graphics to what Minecraft looks like. Now, it gives you their definition of what the sandbox is. Then they mentioned here that the sandbox is a virtual metaverse where players can play, build, own, and monetize their virtual experiences. We empower artists, creators, and players to build the platform they have always envisioned, providing the means to unleash your creativity. There's a bunch of different experiences and games that are currently being built out in the world of Sandbox. Similarly to Decentraland, this is all going to be the user-generated content, meaning that are the games that are experiences that are being created in this metaverse are being created by individuals, not the company. And just like I said, to do that, you must own plots of land within this metaverse. Now, the Sandbox is showing some incredible promise already, having some amazing partners so far. They have partnered with people like Snoop Dogg as well as other celebrities, companies like The Walking Dead, The Smurfs, Deadmau5, Atari, and many others. As well as, in my opinion, I think the game specifically has one of the highest potentials to become one of the leading metaverses that all of us will end up playing on. And I think personally for me, there's something about the voxelized sense that all of us grew up to love with Minecraft and many other of the early games. Now, to purchase some of these pieces of land, you do have to head to OpenSea, and which you can find them on the secondary market. Not all of land similarly to Axie Infinity have been released just yet. There is still current land sales that are opening and happening right now, so you can follow them on Twitter or keep up with their Discord, so you are staying in touch with that. And if we take a look at OpenSea, we can see some of the plots and that are currently being listed up for sale on secondary market. Number 4, Miranda's. Moving on, I want to talk about Mirandas, which is created by Gala Games to give you the definition of what Gala Games provides for the game of Mirandas. Mirandas is an epic fantasy RPG set in a massive world, ruled by 5-player monarchs, and game players have absolute freedom of choice. They can send out into the wilderness alone to try their fortunes against the monsters of the deep woods and dungeons, join with one of the monarchs to serve as a knight in their court, or set up shop in one of the 5 great cities of Realm. Player ownership of in-game assets is a central mechanic, with players being able to hold land deeds, which allows them to claim parts of the wilderness and set up to hold fast, ranging from small farms to massive cities. In Mirandas, you can decide who you will be and choose your own quest in the epic fight against evil. Now, just like Mirandas has stated, this is going to be a fantasy RPG game, and a lot of people are excited for this game, specifically because there's going to be so much you're going to be able to do within the world of Mirandas, and similarly, all of the other games here is another metaverse we could possibly a part of. They also have land and land deeds that are up for sale currently at the moment or on the secondary market. Now, something to note about the land in the Mirandas is that it is extremely limited. There's not a lot of pieces of land that are currently up for sale or have hit the market just yet. So there is going to be more land sales that will be conducted similarly to all of these other games that we have mentioned here. And you can check out some of the land deeds on their marketplace within the Gala Games, or they do have some land deeds as well that is up for sale in secondary market on OpenSea. Value factor. Now let's talk about some of the factors that can contribute to the value of these pieces of land. There are going to be 4 factors where I'm going to talk about right here. It is going to be the location, it's going to be the size, we can have the scarcity of the land as well as the popularity of that metaverse and game. Now, let's talk about location really quick. Value factor 1, location of land. Location is going to be extremely important to the value of the piece of land, right, or plot you ended up purchasing within a metaverse. It's similar to real life, where the location of the real estate you end up owning or purchasing is going to be more expensive or less expensive, depending on the area that surrounds it, and in this case of an online world such as a metaverse, that doesn't really change, so it depends on each game in metaverse. But you just give the list of some examples here. Let's just say the location of that plot of land is closer to some resources that are crucial for some game itself. So just further into the example, we can give Axie Infinity, where some of these plots of land are closer to some resources that are going to be needed for these axes or within this game that they are going to end up building on Lunasia. Another example is places like the Central Land. Right there are going to be the certain hubs and certain places within the world of Central Land that will be more popular than the others. So the real estate, right, the virtual plots and lands that are surrounding those hubs where a mass amount of people are currently located within that game. Maybe more expensive because there are more eyeballs and more traffic running through that sector. And there's going to be a plenty of other factors that are going to be contributing to the experience of that location. But it doesn't depend on the metaverse and the game that is behind it. Value factor 2, size of land. Now let's compare 2 different sizes of land, right? So you'll use a small piece of land versus a larger piece of land, right? For the larger piece of land, you're going to be able to build more and build a larger experience within the metaverse. So the larger piece of land is most likely going to be more valuable than a smaller piece of land. It gives you the amount of space necessary to build more experiences, build more games, build a larger business, or whatever you choose to do. So on that piece of land. Value factor 3 and 4, scarcity and game popularity. Now we are going to be talking about scarcity. In scarcity, we can actually talk about scarcity and popularity of the game because they actually coincide with one another. Now the plots of land within these metaverses will have a certain limit to how many plots of land will ever exist. These are NFTs and they are going to be capped off at a certain amount. So there's not going to be an infinite amount of lands that will be able to be created forever. And so that in itself will add some value to those pieces of land. Now, where the popularity of the game comes in. Let's say the user base from Sandbox increasingly grows to the massive user base, where over 1 million players are playing daily. And let's say there are only hundreds and thousands of pieces of land that are currently within the metaverse. The demand of those pieces of land will continue to rise as people get more acclimated and more immersed into the game of Sandbox, so that in itself can drive up the value of pieces of land as well. Now, on the flip side of that, if the game itself, the metaverse that you're purchasing, that the piece of land on has no user base or very little to no user base at all, pieces of land are not going to be and not going to have that much demand behind it. So you might have to price the land lower to stay competitive. And to be honest, if there's no user base within this metaverse, what is the purpose of owning that piece of land? You're just owning a virtual piece of land within a metaverse that is not currently being used, which in that case, it's not worth very much. It's also similar to real life, where you're purchasing a piece of land in the middle of nowhere. Is there a town? Is there a local hospital? Is there a community around it? If there's not, then purchase of the land that is value of what the land is very small. And those are all factors I personally think adds value to plots of land within the metaverse. So to briefly touch up on it, one more time, it's going to be the location of the piece of land, the size, we can have the scarcity as well as the popularity of the game or metaverse it is currently located on. Virtual land investing has insane opportunity. I think this is going to be one of the most massive opportunities within NFTs and within crypto. If we all believe one day we're going to be immersed into these virtual worlds, similar to Ready Player One, then one of these metaverses are bound to succeed in some way, and the land within those metaverses will hold value because you're going to be able to do so many things without plot of land, such as build businesses, experiences, games, or even use it as your own very home. I think this is going to create so many new jobs within the world as well as inside a metaverse right now. So let's just use a piece of land for an example, and you're collecting resources on that piece of land. Let's say you hire someone to use your piece of land to mine out those resources. Right, that in itself is a job you are providing to another individual. There's also going to be real estate brokers, virtual real estate brokers, which I think this is so cool, right? So there's going to be people brokering deals within the metaverse for certain pieces of land. There's also going to be real estate managers, real virtual estate managers that are going to manage those lands for you. You could possibly rent out your piece of land to another business owner or creator within that metaverse. So let's say you're not a creator within the metaverse. Let's say you're not sure how to develop that land into something that you can't end up doing. Is renting out that piece of land to an individual who wants to create something, and that you can charge that individual monthly rate similar to what we have in real life. It is going to be a world new economy. We're going to see blossom and flourish one crypto and the metaverse takes off. In the last case, this could be possibly be your home, your crib within the metaverse, where you can go hang out after a day full of metaverse partying. You can style out your home however you end up wanting it, putting some art there, putting some people, or putting some X-copy art or whatever other art and NFTs you want to list up in your home. This is going to be your place, or it could possibly be your place to express yourself. And there's going to be so many other possibilities and use cases for these plots of land within, so it's going to be incredibly exciting to see how this all ends up playing out. So what are your thoughts about this topic? Do you find this video useful? Please let me know by leaving a comment down below, and if you enjoyed this video, please check the like button, turn on the notification bell, and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you on our next video.